Welcome to the Waterboy and Equipment Manager Instant Reactions Podcast. Today was game 2 where the Lakers beat the Miami Heat by 10 points.
Introduce.
Unfortunately, not covering the spread. Scores 124-114. My name is Saif Basaria.
I'm Shaman Samani. And there he goes.
And we have some special guests with us today. We've got 2 special guests. The first one next to me.
My name is Asad Lalani.
And the other one. Faisal, this is where you introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Faisal Quyyumi. My bad.
This is Faisal. It's our boy Faisal Quyyumi. So, fortunately, unfortunately, 4 out of the 5 of us are, 3 out of the 5 of us are Laker fans. The other 2 are quite clearly going for the Lakers. Asad's a Rockets fan, so life sucks for him all the time. He's used to it.
I'm here. I'm not even a Rockets fan, man.
You know, but yeah, so let's kind of get started. The Lakers won the game by 10 points, and I think obviously that was probably a little less than what was expected by those that expected Lakers to win based on how game 1 went. They also did not cover the Vegas spread, which was 11 points before the game tip-off by a bullshit Kelly Olynyk layup. Otherwise, they would have covered the spread, and I'm sure a lot of people would have been happy. But what did you guys see from the Lakers today that you liked or maybe so much didn't like? Let's start with Shaban because I know Shaban's really excited to talk about this game.
I mean, just looking at Anthony Davis and how he's like making a case for finals MVP, this dude is going nuts. Holy shit. I saw him just like getting offensive rebounds and just snatching shit away from the Miami Heat as if they were just scared little boys.
In the fourth quarter, he one-hand palmed a ball and pulled it in, and Kelly Olynyk was like, What is it that you want me to do, ref? What would you like from me, Coach Spoelstra?
It's almost as if, starting Myers Leonard was not such a great idea.
I mean, he played 9 minutes tonight. He wasn't terrible, was he? Was he really that bad?
He was -8.
points, I think.
He was -8 in 9 minutes.
Yeah, that's not so ideal. All right. Well, you liked Anthony Davis. Surprise, surprise. Anthony Davis is pretty good at basketball. Faisal, what did you see from the Lakers tonight that you genuinely liked seeing from them?
So first, before I answer that, I'm just gonna say, did y'all saw Kendrick Nunn's block on AD? That boy is like 6-7 inches shorter than him. I just thought that was a beautiful play. But what did I like from the Lakers? Exact same thing with AD. I've just been I feel like all the role players stepped up properly like they needed to. Just the only guy I've still just been hating on this whole season to say is Danny Green, man. He's just been so disappointing. You have a guy who went 1 for 8.
Yeah.
It's just crazy because last year in the finals, he was just such a great role player right next to Kawhi, And then a year later, he just completely lost his touch. I don't know if it's the system for him, if it's his mentality or what happened. But also Rondo's shooting at a 40% clip from 3. That's been huge. And I just love because I remember when he first got into the league, he was not a good three-point shooter at all. He was like an all-you-can-do point guard in terms of rebounding, assisting, and creating shots for players, but he was just a horrible future three-point shooter. So I just think that's been really amazing to see him stepping up like that.
So before you continue, let's talk about this. Rondo, I don't think is still a good three-point shooter. This is playoff Rondo that we're talking about.
Right.
Playoff Rondo is clearly just a different person. Right. There should be a basketball Wikipedia page for playoff Rondo and then not playoff Rondo because those two people are just not the same, clearly.
Yeah, but
I just think I just think that Rondo is
tolerate any Rondo disrespect today.
No, I mean I just think
he
that
was
Rondo's
the third leading scorer tonight.
I just think that Rondo's on the longest hot streak of his life right now.
It's the longest he's been in the playoffs in 10 years. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's
facts. Facts.
That is unbelievable, is it not? All right, Asad, what did you like from the Lakers? What did you see tonight that you enjoyed?
One thing that I really liked was the Lakers' adjustment to the Miami zone. I mean, the Miami zone has been really good for them throughout the playoffs. It's kind of got them where they are. But when you have a player like Anthony Davis, who's such a big zone buster, it's already as difficult as it is. And now with Frank Vogel putting both LeBron and AD on that baseline, kind of behind the big now Kelly Olynyk, it just allows a lot of penetration, and LeBron and AD are just standing right there on the baseline to create plays. So like you saw throughout the game, I saw AD caught the ball, took one step in, wide open dunk. LeBron catches, boxes out a smaller Kendrick Nunn, lays it in. And that adjustment has been really, really good for them, especially in this game. And it just completely shredded that Miami zone.
Yeah. Case, what'd you think? I know you're happy
Also
with
just-
the win. What'd you see?
Going back to how they broke down the zone, I think LeBron watched film until 4:30 in the morning after game one.
We talked about that. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that had a big role in playing how they set up the zone breaker, which was him and AD on the baseline. But, I mean, apart from that, the bench hitting their shots. Danny Green and KCP were an abysmal 5 for 22 from the field today. I need a
Not
second.
ideal.
God.
Not ideal. Not
I
ideal.
didn't add those up until now.
It's a sobering number when you put it all together, isn't it?
Yeah, and then Rondo had more rebounds than Dwight Howard.
Well, Dwight Howard played like 17 minutes too.
Yeah. Rondo had 9 more
Still.
minutes than him.
Still, Dwight Howard's 7-1, Rondo's 6-2.
Yeah, on a good day. On a good day. For me, I think obviously I'm extremely ecstatic with the win. This is one of those games where maybe it's because I was with good company, but I was never really worried about the Lakers losing this game. Even when it was like a 6-point or 7-point or 8-point game, I felt pretty confident the whole way through. And maybe that's because, well, not maybe, it's definitely because they're missing Bam Adebayo and they're missing Goran Dragic. And I just don't feel like they have that next level to get to. Tonight, Miami as a team has been known as a great or really good 3-point shooting team throughout the regular season and in the bubble and in the playoffs. And tonight, the Lakers shot 20 more 3-pointers than the Miami Heat did. We made 5 more threes than they did. So obviously we're not shooting at a crazy efficient clip. We shot 34%. They shot 40%. But we're taking more threes, which means either we're taking a lot or we're minimizing their ability to take reasonably decent 3-point shots, which is probably what I'm leaning towards because as a defensive team, we've been really good. And so we were stopping Miami from getting up good 3-point shots, and so they're just not taking them. And that's enough to stop the Miami Heat from doing what they need to do in order to beat the Lakers without Bam Adebayo. Right? They got to make more threes, and they're just not going to be able to if we're guarding every fucking three they shoot up. And I think that's a big benefit from this. But we've talked about the good thing from the Lakers. There's got to be some bad things, and I assume one of them from Kaze's perspective is the fact that Rondo out-rebounded Dwight. But what else, Kaze? What else did you see from the Lakers that you didn't like and would like to see?
I mean, I already threw the fucking number out. KCP and Danny Green shot 5 for 22. Like, that's almost, 5 for 22, do the math. It's like 26%.
22% actually. Yeah, damn.
Fucking terrible. Wow.
That's horrible.
Those guys are quote-unquote sharp shooters, or at least Danny Green is. At least Danny Green is, right?
So Danny Green 1 for 8, not bad. KCP,
Not bad.
it's Danny
Not
Green.
bad.
Come on. He made 1. That's all that matters. KCP
has the
shooting
bar
4
really
of
sunk that
14.
low?
Case, I'm not joking you right now. Like, Danny Green, I'm not debating whether he's a better basketball player than me or not. All I'm saying is if you gave me the shots that Danny Green had to take, I'd probably go 1 for 8 too.
Bro, there was
So
a
why is he
fucking
getting 15 million?
sequence.
Why is he getting 15 million a year?
But you're on a 2-year, $30 million
There was a
contract,
sequence
you know?
My
where
point-
he
my
shot
point
the
exactly.
same shot twice
I remember
and
that
missed
play.
it both times wide open.
Yeah.
That was the point I was actually about to make on that.
Well, Faisal, make the point, man.
Yeah, exactly. In that fourth quarter, he had a wide open 3. They got the offensive board. They gave it back to him, missed it again, a wide open 3. The next possession, he got another 3 and missed that as well.
I think it was
Like,
all
how
from the
does
same
that
spot.
happen, man? That is insane. Like, and he's a guy who, in the previous finals, when he was on the Spurs, he had set that record for having 9 threes in a finals game, you know? And then you end up
That was clearly many moons ago for Danny
Dude,
Green.
yeah, like, oh man, he is not aging like fine wine like LeBron, man. And all he has to do too, we don't need him to do much, just make it basket. You know, that's all we ask
Just
him
play
to do.
defense and shoot a 3. Like
Yeah, hit 2 or 3 threes a game, and we
Safe
okay
could do
with
that. And Safe
telling
can't even
you.
run right now.
I'm telling you, I'm still recovering from that knee. But here's the thing, right? I said it the last episode, or no, sorry, the finals preview episode 2 episodes ago, and I'll say it again. He is still finding himself on the court, which
This
means
is defense.
contribution on the defensive end is still more valuable than the fact that he's shooting 1 of 8 from the field, right? Because the Lakers are not going to let him play garbage-ass defense and let him shoot worse than me in the NBA and still get to be on the court for how many minutes did he play tonight? He played 22 minutes tonight.
23.
22 minutes tonight, right? So it's like, why is Danny Green getting 22 minutes? Kyle Kuzma's getting 21 minutes, right?
Well, obviously
And Kyle
because-
Kuzma is arguably a better offensive threat at this point, but he's not as good as defender. Danny Green's doing a good job on that side.
I think that all just goes back down to like the fact that we don't have Bradley. You know, that would change everything. If he was in the bubble with us, we would see him playing these 20, 25, 30 minutes much more than Cruz and
it sucks that he's not here, but that shows that the Lakers have the ability that they've been doubted all year, right? The question was, cool, they got LeBron and AD. Do they have anybody else? And I've said for quite some time, I think all three of us in this podcast that are here every week have talked about it's nice to know that there are a bunch of capable guys, but we're not sure where it's coming from. It's a bunch of wild cards. And that sucks as a fan's perspective, but it's really good when defenders have to plan against you because we don't even know who the fuck is going off. So how the hell do you know who's going off? The Miami Heat don't know who the hell to guard other than LeBron and AD because we don't know who's going to go off tonight. Rondo going 5 of 9 from the field and 3 of 4 from 3 is not something that's happening every single night, right? So it just goes to show that every single night there's a different guy. KCP had 11 points, not great from the shooting stat, but 11 points. Danny Green had, 3 because he's
3
a bum.
points.
Yeah, 3 points. But Kyle Kuzma with 11 and AC Fresh with 6.
I saw a tweet that kind of stuck with me. It's like Danny Green is just J.R. Smith who knows what the score is.
That's mean. Danny Green plays better.
Yeah, I saw J.R. Smith get some playing time today.
Yeah, J.R. Smith got a nice 3 minutes out there today.
J.R. got onto the
court.
And
all he did was foul twice.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Well, because he's still not sure what team he's on. JR is like, yo, isn't their jerseys kind of like the Cleveland jersey? And LeBron's like, dude, we're in Orlando. We play for the Lakers. And he's like, no, we don't. Come on now, LeBron. He's like, LeBron, you're the stupid one.
He's like, these are alternate Cavalier jerseys, man. What are you talking about?
Look.
These are Black Mamba edition Cavalier jerseys. Like, why would the Cavalier Mamba jerseys?
All right, hold up, bro. Bronny is 2 Lakers wins away from the ass beating of a lifetime.
I saw that on Twitter too, dude. Oh, man.
Oh, that's good. So let's jump to the Miami Heat. Obviously, the Lakers won. The Lakers are up 2-0 in the series. Miami Heat now has to go out and win 4 of the next 5 games, which is, I would probably say, highly unlikely, especially if they're missing Goran Dragic for the rest of the series, which is what it looks like. And Bam says he expects to play Game 3, but what percentage of Bam are we getting? Is he going to be 75%, 80%, 85%?
I saw him on that replay, like celebrating. His neck looked kind of okay to me.
Yeah, his neck looked good to you, Shaban? You paying attention to that neck, boy? No, but for real. What did you guys see from the Heat tonight that you guys liked to see? Shaban, start us off with this one.
Well, I liked how Jimmy Butler got like 13 assists tonight.
That's exactly what I was going to talk about.
Yeah,
that was huge. LeBron numbers. He put up LeBron numbers. Did.
Yeah, 25 and 13. He had like 12 free throw attempts, and he was able to attack to the rim early. He shot like 7 for 17, so not that great like from that point. But being able to get to the line is also like a skill in the NBA that you really have to have, especially when you make it this deep into the playoffs and into the finals. So, Jimmy Butler has been the heart and soul of this team. It sucks that Goran Dragic is out and that Bam Adebayo has not been able to play. This game would have been a lot closer maybe if they had played, because it looked like they were starting to get their groove, especially the Miami role players. But I guess we'll see with Game 3,
Yeah. Before the game started, Asad, I told you something very specific about a very specific player. Can you tell the listeners exactly what I said to you?
So before the game, Safe was like, just watch Kelly Olynyk drop 30 points and have a classic Kelly Olynyk playoff performance. And he got pretty close.
Got 24.
24-9, 9 of 16 from the field.
Not too bad.
Olynyk played a great game offensively. His defense is still to be questioned, but it's hard to do when he's the central guy in the zone against Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard coming right down on you.
Let me clarify it. You said still to be questioned. There's nothing to question. He's terrible on defense. But
they
again,
said it during the broadcast.
So are a lot of people when you regard Anthony Davis, right? Right. But yeah, what else were you going to say about the Heats? What you like from the Miami Heat tonight?
Yeah. I think Kelly was really good for them. Just gave them that necessary scoring boost just to kind of keep them in the game. I wanted to see more. I think Tyler took some good shots. They didn't quite go down. But he's got a lot of moves in his bag, right? Like he's got the jumper, he's got the handle. He had a lot of good separation moves, just couldn't get some of those mid-range shots to fall. One thing that I thought was interesting and thought I'd maybe bring up to you guys is Tyler was 1 of 3 from 3. Do you think he should be shooting more threes or just kind of let the game come to him?
I think that was the game plan for the Lakers, right?
I
Tyler
think it's a
Hero,
little bit of both.
yeah, it's to run him off the 3-point, let him go do something else. And we saw a lot of those. We saw, I think, at least 3 different step back jumpers in the paint or at the free throw line from Tyler Hero tonight. And that just goes to show that he would much rather shoot that 3 ball. I think the Heat would much rather have him shoot that 3 ball, but he's not getting the chance to. He's not getting any separation there. Let me ask you a question off rip, Faisal, okay?
Mhm.
Who is a better scorer in today's NBA? Kelly Olynyk or Tyler Hero?
Wait, is this a serious question?
No, it's a completely sarcastic question, but I still want your answer.
Obviously, Kelly Olynyk, man. He's the GOAT.
No, obviously, right?
Yeah.
No, it's obviously Tyler Hero, and yet Kelly Olynyk took 16 shots and
Right.
Tyler Hero took 12.
Right.
That should tell you what you need to know. The Heat need Tyler Hero to become a scorer on this basketball team if they plan to do anything in the next 2 games minimum, right? It could go longer, but in all reality, this thing's over on Tuesday if Tyler Hero's only taking 12 shots and only putting up 17 points. They need 22 to 23 from him at least, right? I don't think
Yeah,
that's
I was surprised, because it looked like he was, he had that nice step back early in the game. So I thought, man, Tyler Hero, this is gonna be the high Tyler Hero game. He's gonna have like 30 points, and then he just barely attempted 12 shots, right? And
unfortunately.
We also saw him on those ISO plays with AD or with Dwight. Where Dwight was up at the perimeter guarding him, and he had tipped him on that second time. And on that first time, he had played lockdown D, and I thought like the same confidence we saw in Hero in those first 3 rounds has just disappeared in the finals. Like that swagger, that arrogance, that confidence, it just completely disappeared.
In all fairness, I think it's the physicality of the Lakers that has knocked a little bit of that
Right.
confidence off of him.
Right.
He every time he tries to do anything, he's getting a little bit of bump here and there, and smartly so. The Lakers should, right? If it's not being called, play it within reason, but play it.
I also think it was like one, along with obviously Olynyk doing a great job, which surprised me. But in the first quarter, when it was only a 6-point game, 29 and 23, I remember they were showing the stats, but Lakers were shooting over 21% better than the Heat were in that first quarter. And I was very surprised that the Heat were able to keep it that close. A 6-point game and Lakers are shooting 54-55, and the Heat are only shooting 33% as a team. That's
It's
horrific.
because the Lakers had 6 turnovers in that first quarter.
Okay, yeah,
Well,
exactly.
that
Yeah,
goes to show, yeah.
yeah, stuff like that, and also like Crowder had a decent game, but Iggy should have shot more because he shot well for the game, from what I remember.
3
right?
for 3, 7
He
points.
didn't miss.
Yeah, he should have definitely been, because he's been on this grand stage plenty of times. He should have definitely shot more. They should have ran some more plays for him, and just I just didn't think the ball movement was really there as much as it should have been, because also with Bam being such a great big man passer too, that does take a lot
Definitely. That's big.
out there. But yeah, those were kind of my takeaways for the Heat.
Yeah, Kays, did you want to jump in and talk about maybe the good things, and then you can also just jump to the bad
Yeah,
things that you
alright,
see from the
bet.
Heat too.
All
Knock
right,
them
so
out.
first things first, Coach Spoelstra, thanks for listening to me and playing Myers Leonard. I called
Yeah,
it
nine-
right
nine-
after game 1.
Yo, and also
Eric Spoelstra listens
He
to the Waterboy
started.
and Equipment Manager podcast.
Eric
Confirmed.
Spoelstra listens to the pod. Kays, come on, you didn't know this?
I know. That's why I
We
said
talked- we
thank
talked
you.
about
Why
that.
else would I say thank you?
Yeah, first it was Torian Prince, and now it's Eric Spoelstra.
Hey, we're
Me
getting
and
big
Torian Prince are not on good terms. He has blocked me on Twitter and Instagram.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he did.
Yo, that is
Bro.
amazing. That is amazing. Okay, back to the Miami Heat. Coach Spoelstra played Myers Leonard 9 minutes, doubling his overall playoff minutes thus far.
Yes, sir.
Congrats, Myers.
He made it 3. I'm not going to lie. Great game. 7 points.
Great game.
No rebounds, no
rebounds.
assists.
No, one assist. One assist.
Oh, 1 assist. Okay,
yeah,
there
no,
it is.
no rebounds. But what else? What
Still.
else did you like from the Heat?
I mean, I liked Jimmy Butler's facilitating. That was the biggest takeaway from this Miami Heat thing. Kelly Olynyk played great, but it's not happening again. He had a couple good
24
games in the series
24 is high.
before.
24 is high.
But, yeah, I do think going to the bad, Tyler Hero has to figure it out. And Duncan Robinson needs to show up.
Yeah.
My man shot 2 of 7 from 3, which was also 2 of 7 from the field. And he made all 3 of his free throws, but 29% is not doing it. 9 points, not doing it. He was statistically the worst player on the court for the Heat, and he just got to be better.
I mean, look, the best thing about the Lakers with Duncan Robinson is look, if five dudes on a podcast know Duncan Robinson is a fantastic three-point shooter, I promise you LeBron and the Lakers definitely know it too. They've run him off every screen, off every pin down. He is not getting his feet set anywhere on the court. He does not know what oxygen is because he has not been able to get anything. And that's helpful because 2 of 7, like Kaz, you said, it's because the Lakers are on him, not because he's missing good shots. He's not getting good shots. He's hitting tough shots. And I think that's everything, right? The Lakers know if Myers Leonard goes out and hits 5 threes in a basketball game, we're in big trouble. We, being the Lakers, are in big, big, big trouble. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. Duncan Robinson has to do something.
Yeah, and you touched on it earlier that, like, with Tyler Hero, that he's really feeling that how the Lakers are just a bigger and, like, how they're just a bigger team. Duncan Robinson's especially feeling that.
Definitely. Duncan Robinson does not have the confidence that Tyler Hero does in that regard, I don't think. Okay, sorry, Faisal, what were you saying?
No, I feel like the only reason the Heat were even in this is because I remember they had like a stretch where they consecutively knocked down 30 free throws or 31 free throws. You know, that's literally the only reason they were even within a 10-point game. Otherwise, it should have been a easy blowout for the Lakers without Bam and Dragic.
I mean, the free throw disparity was there. I mean, the Miami shot 31 of 34 from the line, and the Lakers shot 17 free throws, so straight double.
And they only made 10.
Yeah.
They only made 10, right?
Yeah, that's
Miami shot twice as many free throws. It's absurd. The good thing is, however, we should not hear any Heat fans complaining about the foul calls. They got twice as many free throws tonight and still lost the basketball game. Only by 10, whatever that means to you, and I guess. But 34 free throws is
I got to address that. They might have only lost by 10, but it didn't feel like 10.
No, it did not.
It felt like 20, 25.
I was never worried. Never, ever worried.
Like, even when they were within 4 or 5 points, I'm like, no, thank you.
So Safe, you said in our finals preview that the Miami Heat was the team that you were actually scared of.
Mm-hmm.
Are you scared of them now?
It's very, the answer to that question, right? The answer is no, but still yes, right? I don't think they're going to beat the Lakers in this series, but I do think they are still capable of winning a game or 2 of this series. Probably not 2, probably 1, but there's going to be a game where Tyler Hero does have 30, or Duncan does hit 6 3-pointers, or Jimmy does do what he did tonight, and the other guys also do it with him, right? There's going to be a night. That night is going to be the night that Bam Adebayo can play basketball again at 85% of himself. If that happens. If that doesn't happen, this is over Tuesday. This is 4 games. We get to go home early. And then, like Kay said, Bronny gets an ass whooping 3 days earlier than he probably should have, right?
This is the first time LeBron's ever been up 2-0 in the finals.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is.
That's nuts, isn't it? That is nuts. But I wanted to run some trivia by you before we get out of here because I found these kind of fun. I already asked Asad, so Asad, no cheating, okay? No cheating because you already know the answers.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Can you guys name the only coach to have ever won a championship with the Los Angeles Lakers and Miami Heat?
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley. Yeah.
Okay. And then can you name the only player to do it?
With the
Lakers and the Heat?
Shaq.
Eddie Jones?
No.
Eddie Jones is on the Lakers?
Sorry. It's Shaq. The question is the only all-star to have ever done it, and it's Shaq.
Oh, yeah.
I said that 3 times.
Eddie Jones did get play time.
Okay. If you have a trivia, I got one really quick one I always ask.
Yeah,
my
run it.
So like most game winners, like at the buzzer, all time number 1 is MJ with 9, right? Number 2, Kobe with 8. Do you guys know who the second player who is tied with Kobe at 8 is?
Kyrie Irving.
Nah.
No way.
Robert Horry?
Nah, he's retired, but very recently retired within the past year or 2.
Oh, okay. D-Wade?
Is it D-Wade?
Former Hawk.
Former
Joe
Hawk.
Johnson?
ISO Joe? ISO Joe?
Yeah, he's tied for 7.
You know what? I believe that. I have seen a lot of game winners.
Shaban, you just slandered ISO Joe on the last episode of the podcast. All right.
Hey, you know what?
Before we get out of here, let's quickly do what is one thing or one major thing you need to see from the Miami Heat in order for them to win Game 3? What do you need to see from them differently? For me, it's shoot the 3-ball more and make the 3-ball
I need
more.
to see them score more points than the Lakers.
Thank you, Case. Appreciate your your in-depth analysis for that one.
I think
Eric Spoelstra will write that one on the board for them to really use as motivation.
Honestly, Udonis Haslam was screaming in a huddle, and I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Score more
points.
motherfuckers.
I think, like, they just really need to try, I think, a man. Because this zone, they're just getting completely.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say that too.
I agree,
That
I agree with that.
the zone's not working. This
Yeah.
is Boston.
Yeah, I
clearly,
think Miami's
right?
too small to play zone, especially with such big guys like with AD and
If
Dwight.
they,
It's just not gonna work.
I think their concern with man specifically is if they do not have Bam Adebayo, AD is going to score 78 points, and LeBron James is going to hunt Duncan Robinson all game long on these pick and roll switches.
Right.
Poor Duncan is going to have to go into hiding for the next 3 months after this. And it's not his fault. It is because LeBron James is trying to win a finals MVP, and he's making a case for it. Shaban, before we get out of here, what's your thing on the Heat? What do you need to see from them to win this game? Was it the same thing?
Yeah, it was the same thing. Try doing man to man. The zone has been catastrophic for them.
And after 2 games, the finals MVP for you, Asad, is
I think I'm gonna have to go with LeBron James.
still LeBron. Shaban, who you got?
LeBron James. The assist disparity is just like the points and rebounds with him and AD is really close, but the assist disparity, it's obviously LeBron.
Yeah, Faisal, who you got?
AD.
AD. Okay. K's, who you have, bro?
AD.
Okay. And I've got LeBron James as the tiebreaker. We will see you after game 3. Thanks for listening. Thank to our guests for coming on. See ya.
Peace.
Take care.
Bye.
Later.